Hello everyone. This is our very first video for English 200, Spring 2017. So first off, let me say to those of you who are taking classes in the fall, welcome back. Spring semester, long holiday weekend or holiday break was really long for me, but still not long enough. It never is. So welcome to those of you who are coming back, and welcome for the first time to any of you who may not have taken classes in the fall and are starting your college careers on this very first spring semester of 2017. So first off, I'm going to do some introduction of myself. So I am Robin Nelson. I am the instructor for this English 200 class, and a little bit about me, because you guys are going to have to do this for one of your assignments this week. Born and raised in Ewa Beach, Hawaii, and so I still am out in Ewa Beach, live not far from UH West. Born and raised. Graduated from Campbell High School, went to Chaminade University where I got my bachelor's in English, and then went to grad school at Cal State San Bernardino. Got my master's in English composition. From there, I went back to Chaminade to teach for a few years, and then I ended up at UH West. I've been there for the last 2 years, and it's awesome. I love the students. I love the faculty. Just the fact that it's such a small school and everyone seems to know each other is wonderful. Let's see what else. I work a second job at Bath & Body Works. I actually have to work later today, so I'm trying to get this video done before I go off to work. Been there just since October of last year, so still working out some of the kinks. And I know some of you already know this, because I'm pretty sure several of you have already been in my English 100 last semester, so good to see you back, those of you that are coming back. Let's see, what do I like to do in my spare time? I am a big fan of TV watching, so I may make pop culture references every once in a while, referring to different things that I've been watching if they tie into class, which often I can make them tie into class whether or not they really do. And let's see, why don't we talk about some New Year's resolutions? My New Year's resolution is to, I think, just be more grateful for things. So I've actually started a thankfulness diary, so I'm trying to stay positive about life this semester, and also to just stay on top of things in general. I don't know, I don't really do much. I'm very family oriented, so a lot of my time is spent with my family doing various things, going to the movies. I'm trying to break my world record for movie going this year, so I've already seen, well, that was last year. I already went to the movies in Samoana last year, and I have plans to go see Hidden Figures this week. So I'll let you guys know next week how that was, if it ties in with anything, which I'm pretty sure I can make that tie in with this class. Anything else you guys want to know about me, you can ask me questions in the comments on this video. By the way, I am going to be posting the comments box when I put up these videos, and you can ask general questions about the class for that week, or if you don't understand something, or if the video doesn't work, anything relevant and appropriate to the class for that week, you can communicate there. I do get notices every time someone posts a comment. And let's see, so I guess that's what I think you guys might want to know about me. And I'll talk to you in a little bit in this video about what you're going to be doing to introduce yourselves to each other and to myself. So let's move on to the next section of this video, and this is how videos are going to work every week. So there's going to be a little bit of going over what was done the previous week, and then we'll talk about what's coming up, and I'll always finish with your assignments. So this week is a little bit different. We got my introduction. I'm going to move on to talking about the course syllabus and general rules and guidelines and that kind of stuff. And then we'll talk about what you have coming up in this first week. Very exciting. And I'm going to try to create dividers here. So this is the first time I'm trying to get a little bit adding to my technological prowess here. So maybe there'll be a picture after this part that signals the break. All right. So for our course syllabus, what we have going on is a little bit different than what you might be used to if you've done online courses with UHWS before. The general course website is Laulima, but we're going to be using WordPress. So it's a fancier version, a much fancier version of Laulima. It's like a blog site, but I don't generally use the blog portion. I just post things and then post with comments, so you all can go and add your 2 cents and do your assignments there. So when you go to our course Laulima page, first thing you're going to see is right on the first page of that website, and it's pretty much one of the only things there right now. It will say, though we're using this Laulima page for general course resources, gradebook, and that kind of stuff, our main site will be on WordPress, and it has a link directly to our WordPress site, so make sure you go to that one and click on it, because you will not see anything posted as far as the more minor week-by-week assignments on Laulima. No, the minor assignments go on WordPress, the major ones go on Laulima. So essay assignments will be submitted through Laulima, but your week by week is on WordPress, and all of the basic stuff is on WordPress, the detailed stuff that we're doing. Okay, so go check that out. It's pretty easy to navigate. I'm pulling it up right now. The first page is a general welcome. I have a little letter to you guys there that has just the description of, a very short description of what the class is going to be covering. You'll get an idea of our course theme right off the bat. There's a big picture of the American flag. First thing you're going to see, because the course theme is the American dream. So I give you a little bit about that, and then I tell you how to navigate the website. And there's links everywhere. So anything that's highlighted or that's red and underlined and bolded, it should be a link. If you hover over it, it should take you where you need to go. So that first page gives you just the basic details. It has the links to everything you need, and I'll go over exactly how that works as soon as I cover the syllabus. So go there, and then you're going to find our course syllabus under the link or the picture or whatever, whichever one you find, the menu that says syllabus and weekly schedules. So there's 3 ways to get there. At the top, actually 4. At the top there's all of our menu options. One says syllabus and weekly schedule. You can click there. If you look in my letter to you guys on the welcome page, it says syllabus and weekly schedule. You can click there. Or if you scroll down to the bottom, there's these cute little pictures. I like to make things a little exciting, and it has a picture of a calendar, and it says syllabus and weekly schedule. And then the last one also has the menu at the bottom of the page. And if you can't find anything, I did put in a search bar, so you can always type in syllabus and weekly schedule there, and it will take you to the results where you'll find all of that. So if you click on the syllabus and weekly schedule page, you'll find a little thing that says you can find the course syllabus here. So click that. It's going to make you log into Laulima, and I'm following along with this as I do it so I can remember how everything works. It should open up in a new window, and then you get our course syllabus. Okay, so with the course syllabus, oops, I just lost it. Whoops. There we go, they're back. Course syllabus has the important stuff. It's got our course number, composition 2, the semester, what campus we're at, my name, my office location if you are on campus. If you're distance ed, this isn't really going to help you, but you do have my email there as well. If any of you are planning to meet with me in person at any point during the semester, which may or may not happen depending on where you are, I prefer to have my office hours 8:30 to 9:30 Tuesday, Thursday, because that's really the only time I am definitely on campus. I have a class right after that. And I prefer appointment only. All right, sorry about that, had to pause. Garbage truck was going by making too much noise. So I was talking about my office hours. So office location is E209 if you are on campus. Office hours 8:30 to 9:30. I'm on campus right after that for a class, and I prefer, if you're going to come to office hours, that you make an appointment, because I don't always know where exactly I'll be. So if you do need to meet with me, let me know well in advance. I can tell you exactly where to meet me, and I can be sure that I'm available for you. So you have my email there on the syllabus as well, nelsonrc@hawaii.edu. And you also have our link to our WordPress site. So if you find the syllabus on Laulima, it is under resources, then you can also find the link to our WordPress directly on it. So if you notice, the theme carries through to our syllabus. I've got all of those very American themed pictures there. And I've got a quote from James Truslow Adams, who has been credited with coining the term the American Dream. So this is from his book, The Epic of America, I believe it's called. And we'll do some looking at it if I can get a hold of a copy. Maybe I'll scan something in for you guys. But this is the quote that's also on our WordPress site. It's the first thing you'll see after the header picture. The American dream is that dream of a land in which life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievement. It is not a dream of motor cars and high wages merely, but a dream of social order in which each man and each woman shall be able to attain to the fullest stature of which they are innately capable, and to be recognized by others for what they are, regardless of the fortuitous circumstances of birth or position. So it's, according to Adams, it's this idea that no matter what social standing your family is, what social standing you're born into, that you can work your way out of it into something greater, that the power of the individual and their abilities is greater than what you are naturally born into. You can become more than where you start in life. And I think that this has become something we have started to question, and the American dream has been really twisted into some other things. Usually we think of wealth, right, and happiness, but these terms are so subjective. What does it mean to be wealthy, right? Does it mean to be a millionaire, or can you be wealthy with just having enough money that you aren't living paycheck to paycheck, but have enough to do certain things without an overabundance of money? What does it mean to be happy? Does it just mean that you are rich so you can do whatever you want, or is happiness something else? And these are terms that are going to sound really familiar to those who took me for 100. It sounds like a definition essay type thing. But we're going to be pondering these kinds of questions in this course. So if you look in the syllabus on the What's the Point section, it tells you what English 200 is for. It's to help you grow as a writer. We're going to be composing different essays, all focused around this American dream theme. So this ties in with the what are we going to do in this class. So there are goals for English 200. I'm going to let you guys look over those. The first year composition program, learning outcomes, and the 200 goals are there for you to look at. But I want you to keep in mind that all of these things, the strategies for composing in different genres, the critical thinking, reading, and composing strategies, understanding of composing as recursive, social, and collaborative, rhetorical awareness, knowledge of conventions, appropriate and ethical information literacy skills, all of this will be tied to our discussion of the American dream. So we're going to start one way, and we'll see where we end up by the end. Do we all believe that the American dream is still in existence? And these are the questions I pose in the what are we going to do in this class. Why do we desire to live the American dream? From where does the longing to fulfill this dream originate? Do those who are born in this country have the same perspective on the American dream as those who immigrated here from other countries? How do ideas of American identity and success circulate in popular culture? Do all people enjoy access to the American dream? Is it a myth or a reality? So all of these questions are going to be things we investigate throughout the semester. We're going to kind of follow a timeline. So we'll start in the late 1800s and move all the way into the 2000s, looking at how the American dream developed. And we're going to do that with our textbooks. So if you look under the what course materials do we need, first thing you're going to be working with, we'll start with this next week, is this book, Ragged Dick. Okay, so Ragged Dick is available in hard copy. It's pretty cheap, I believe. It's a Signet Classic. Usually don't cost too much. But if you didn't order books yet, I know several people are probably going to be latecomers to the class, or if you just don't want to purchase it, it is public domain and accessible online. So I give you the link in the syllabus, I think. Maybe not. I give you where to find it. But I will post the link next week when we start the reading. So if you don't have the book, I will have a link there for you. And I'll provide anything that's in the book that those of you with the e-text might not have, like the introduction I'm going to ask you to read, and I have a scanned copy of that I can just post up next week. Second book we'll be working with is a fun one, Plantation Boy. So Plantation Boy by Milton Murayama is a book that is written entirely in Pidgin. It's a local publication, and it takes us from 1860s New York, that's Ragged Dick, to 1940 to 50 to 60 Hawaii. Okay, so it's going to be really relevant to us and really interesting. I often have people who have family history that they can relate to this book. And then we will look at The American Dream in the 2000s with Fast Food Nation by Eric Schlosser. So Fast Food Nation is an investigative piece basically into the fast food industry, and Schlosser looks at everything from the fast food restaurants to the production of the food in factories, scientific factories, slaughterhouses, that kind of stuff, and all the way to the people that eat the fast food. So it's not like Super Size Me, if you've heard of that. I'm sure everyone has, with the guy who ate fast food for however many days, and that was all he ate. This is not a social experiment. It's investigative writing, essentially. And then to take us into our own writing, we're going to be using The Craft of Research as a handbook on research writing. And the way that these books are laid out is twofold. It's for the tracing the American dream with Plantation Boy, Fast Food Nation, and Ragged Dick. And we also are trying to move from, fiction with Ragged Dick into historical fiction with Plantation Boy, into nonfiction with Fast Food Nation. So it will ease us into our own research writing that we'll finish with at the end of the semester. So aside from the books, the other things you'll need for this class are, first off, access to a computer, the internet, and your UH email. And this needs to be frequent and consistent access. So either, I would hope you have a computer, not just a phone, but some way to access the internet that you always have. That doesn't mean that you depend on the UH West library for a computer access. If you can't get to the campus, then you can't do your work. So you need to make sure that you have access to a computer pretty much at all times, or at least the internet, because all communication will be done through the internet, through the website, through Laulima. Okay. Second thing you're going to need is either Microsoft Word software or Google Docs for typing papers and completing your weekly assignments. I would say first thing I would suggest you do with these is, as you are working on weekly journal responses that I'll talk about in a second, you need to make sure that you have a backup. Sometimes WordPress can delete everything you type up, so I highly suggest you type it up first on something you can save, and then you always have a backup in case something shuts down or WordPress isn't working or whatever. Type it on Google Docs or Microsoft Word first and then post it online. And I also give you a link to where you can download Office 365, Microsoft Office 365 for free. You guys have access to it as UH students, and so the link is right on the syllabus. You also need a YouTube account. We're going to be doing weekly videos, so you need to create an account if you don't already have one. You cannot use your UH Google account for this, even though it seems like you should be able to. It doesn't let you. So you either need to create one if you don't have one already, or you need to be willing to utilize your personal YouTube account for class videos. And then the last two are, silly, simple things that aren't really things you need to have. They're things you need to have mentally, I guess. An adventurous take on technology is necessary for this class. We're doing things that you likely have not done before. So be willing to try out new things, and don't get too frustrated if something doesn't work. You can always email me. And the key to this class is to always try to do things prior to the deadline, so it's not, you don't have an assignment due at 5 o'clock on a Saturday and you're trying to do it at 4:30. I would say at least give yourself 24 hours to try to do things, so that if life gets messed up or technology hates you or whatever, you have a little bit of cushion there to do it. And then you need a spirited attitude that is ready to analyze, ready to write, ready to draft, redraft, learn, try, fail, and see writing and rhetoric as fun and empowering, not just a course requirement. Okay? So, what is all this stuff about journal responses and videos and all of that I've been talking about, hinting at? Those are your course requirements. So the week by week things, we got two things. Journal responses. So each week I will be posting a blog prompt. It's a journal, a blog, whatever you want to call it, for you to respond to in writing. These are meant to be spaces where you respond to the reading for each week. You answer questions, you comment on your fellow classmates' ideas in their posts. So really don't think of these journal responses as I post and I'm done. This is your space to communicate with each other. If you like what someone wrote and you want to carry some thought out, have a discussion of sorts online, then feel free to post a comment to whatever they put. I really would love to see this kind of interaction going on, and I will try my best to also participate in it. The other nice thing with WordPress, like Facebook, there's little like buttons you can click if someone's post was something you enjoyed. So if you don't know what to write, but you want to show, hey, that was really great, or, give a virtual round of applause or whatever, hit their like button. Let them know that you're reading it. But again, don't just go clicking on everyone's like button, giving them an ego boost. Make sure you're doing it with a purpose. So I'll talk about this week's first journal response and the other things that you got going on this week in a later section. Second thing we're doing, video responses. This is so that I get to see everyone and you get to see each other, right? Online classes are weird in the sense that you often never know what the people you're in the class with look like. So this is giving us that chance. I'm going to ask you every week, use your YouTube account that you create or you already have, to create a video that responds to some prompt that I give you each week. So this week will be a simple one, but they'll get more and more detailed, I think, as the semester goes on. So the goal of this is not to be additional busy work. This is to guide you along the steps of each assignment's writing process. So you're going to see that we'll scaffold a lot of what we do. I might have you write an explication thing for our first essay that you can then turn into a paragraph or 2 or 3 or 4 for your first essay. Everything will be building upon each other is my goal here. So those video responses journal posts are every week unless otherwise stated. Sometimes I give you a week off one, okay? And then our major requirement, not week by week, but our major papers are going to be, there will be 3 of them, okay? And each one will have a draft that I won't necessarily collect, but there'll always be some kind of peer review process. And I will tell you how that's going to work when we get to the first one, so don't worry about that yet. But if we do a peer review and you do not complete it, then you automatically lose 5% on the final grade for that particular essay. Okay, and so there will be some way that I can keep track of who's doing what for these. So your first essay will be a passage explication. It's going to follow our reading of Ragged Dick, and it will be a no research, purely writing on something to do with the book itself and the content of the book. So we're going to build this way. First essay, passage explication, read the book. There'll be prompts about certain things in the book, and you will write on those prompts. You do not have to do any research. Second essay follows Plantation Boy. It's our mini research paper, and you're going to be doing some research for this, hence the mini part, some research, trying to combine the book and the research that you do about what's going on in the historical time period. And then the final research paper, and I have to be clear on this, is not on Fast Food Nation. Fast Food Nation will be using as a model of what we are trying to write for our last essay. It's going to be a long final essay. If you look at our course schedule that's also posted with the syllabus, it's 10 pages minimum. Again, this is common for all English 200 classes. And again, using Fast Food Nation as a model, you're going to be trying to do your own type of investigative kind of research on the American dream in some aspect that interests you. So it can be anything like American dream with pop culture, or superheroes is one that's been done before. American dream as it applies to certain sport or sports. Or you can do the American dream in literature if that's your interest. You can use the books that we're working with to trace how the American dream changed throughout literature, or you can look at movies, anything you want really, and we'll get to that when we get there. There'll be a whole topic proposal and everything. But that final paper is really yours to kind of go nuts with. If you write on something that doesn't interest you, it's going to be next to impossible to get to 10 pages, hence the openness to allow you to work with your own interests there. Workshops and conferences. I already mentioned the peer review. For the final essay, we will also be having a one-on-one conference, me and you. And you can read that little paragraph, but we'll discuss it as we get closer to it. It will be either by phone, Skype, or in person that we will discuss your papers. Generally after the, I'm trying to remember, it's either after the topic proposal or after the annotated bibliography. But that's not until about week 13, 14, something like that. Okay. Essay guidelines. Here we go. How I want anything that's submitted on Laulima posted, because if you try to format comments, they aren't going to work. So this is assignments that are submitted through Laulima need to be submitted as PDF files. I will limit it, so that's the only way you can post. And this is going to be those 3 major essays. So please post them as PDF files. Name them. Give them a file name that says English 200 with your last name. Actually, English 200 dash whatever section you're in. because I have 2 online 200s. Your last name and an underscore with the title of the assignment. And you can just use the title that's posted on the assignments tab. So if it's called essay number 1, you can call it essay 1. This just saves me time as I'm grading them, keeps things organized. You're expected to meet minimum and maximum length requirements if given on any assignment, and your essays should be formatted accordingly. They should be typed, because I can't take any handwritten stuff unless you're going to take a picture, then I can't read it. Double space, 12 points Times New Roman font, 1-inch margins on all sides. Your last name and page number in the upper right-hand corner of every page in the header space. Not on the first line. Header's completely different, and if you don't know what that is, please let me know. And the top left-hand corner of the first page should include your first and last name, my first initial last name, English 200 - your section, and the date you submitted it. And I'd like a creative and appropriate title for each major essay. If you want to give your weekly post a title as well, that's fine, but not required. And then no cover page. Don't need to waste space not printing when we're submitting assignments. Let's see. Projects and grades evaluated. How are we weighing the grades here? So journal and video responses, each one of those is 15%, so they are important. If you don't do many of them, you're just giving up points. Essay 1, 20%, Essay 2, 20%, and Essay 3, because it's long and has many parts, is 30%. And then you got your grade scale there, and this is page 6 of your syllabus. So look over those. If you have questions about the grade breakdown, let me know, and I will be getting a grade book up by the end of this week so I can start posting grades when you get your first assignments in. Most of the course policies I will let you guys look over, but some of the important ones I want to discuss are, first off, late work. My late work policy is simply no late work accepted. So that means with online classes, we do time-based assignment submissions, and your assignments, the weekly ones, are always going to be due Saturday at 5 p.m. unless otherwise changed later on. And essay assignments will have often some kind of midnight deadline or something. So you need to make sure your assignments are submitted on time. There is a slight loophole to that. You are allowed 1 late assignment submission, reasonably late, not 2 months late type thing. But that is it. And I'm going to be strict on this semester. So if you are constantly submitting stuff late, know that you'll just be giving up points and won't get anything. If you're having problems submitting something, there's some extenuating circumstance going on, please contact me before the assignment is due, not afterward. The plagiarism policy is there. You guys should know the rules, the drill on that one. Just don't submit stuff late. Technology, you have a backup plan. Let's see, anything else important? My policy on email is just know that I will answer it. Sometimes things in the week get busy, and so I might fall behind, but I try to make sure, especially with online classes, that I always answer emails. So give me at least 48 hours to answer emails, if not a few extra hours here or there. There are the notices about the No AL Center. So even if you're a distance ed student, know that No AL can help you out. This is the tutoring center on campus. They do tutoring by phone, online, and in person. So if you're struggling with something, or you want a little extra help with an essay, make sure you contact them. If you're on campus, you can visit the library for different things. We will be utilizing some of their online resources about midway through the semester. And then you have your ADA accommodation notice on the last page, page 7 on the right-hand side. So that is the syllabus. I'm going to pause here for a second and we will move on to talking about what's going on this week. Actually, hold on. One more thing. The course schedule is also posted on the syllabus and weekly schedule page where you find the syllabus link. It's also on Laulima as well, but it gives you a week-by-week breakdown of some of the general things we'll be doing. And I also post in some of the important dates like holidays, which are very important. But it gives you just a general idea of what we'll be doing when. If you're looking for the specifics of page numbers, those will be posted every week under a new tab on the, under a new image on the syllabus and schedule page. So you got your week 1 that's already there, and I will talk about that in just a second. All right, so week 1, what are we doing? First thing, you need to go to your syllabus and weekly schedule page, and when you get there, if you scroll down, there's a little picture with the American flag, Statue of Liberty, and I believe it's the skyline of New York City in the background. Click on that picture or click the Read More button and you will find everything you need to do this week. So first thing is to read the syllabus. There's the link there again, 3rd time if you can't find it. Then browse our spring 2017 schedule. There's a link there if you didn't find it on Laulima or on the course, the syllabus and schedule page. And then I want you to explore our WordPress site. So I have an important note there that it is not necessary to create a WordPress account in order to post to our page. You can use your Gmail credentials by clicking the Google Plus button. And if you use Google Plus instead of other social media accounts, I would highly suggest you use Google Plus, because otherwise if you do Facebook or Twitter, you're inviting us all to see your Facebook page, your Twitter page, or somehow get to them. So I would say use Google Plus. It's linked to your email and just the safest option for you. So don't need to create an account, but know how to post comments. And I encourage you to click around the site, look at every page, be able to figure things out before assignments are due. If you leave it until Friday and assignments are due Saturday, then if you get confused on something and I don't get to answer your email, you're going to be late on assignments. So just click around. It's kind of fun, especially if you've not used WordPress before. And I get to show off and show you all that I was able to do. So then after you do all that, navigate to the check-in video link at the top, the bottom, from the first page, however you want to get there, and watch my video that you're watching right now. So 1 check mark done. And then you're going to watch for one of your assignments this week, Leave It to Beaver, the first episode ever, Beaver Gets Spelled. And I have a link. I'm hoping this works. I uploaded the video to my Google Drive. I have a shareable link that should be accessible by everyone. So there's a click here right there for you. If it doesn't work, whoever tries it first, if it doesn't work, please email me early. It's short, it's only a half hour, but if you're trying to do this late and it's not working, then who knows, we'll have issues. So someone try it out, let me know if it works. If not, let me know well in advance. So that is your read section. Create. You need to create a YouTube account. And then the real work begins. Your weekly video response, number 1, very first one, is fun. You get to introduce yourself to the class. So let me go there and we'll look at that assignment. This is a minimum 5 minutes video, and this rule should be applied to every weekly response you do. There are some questions there you can answer or make up your own. If you want to get creative, you can do some fancy things with videos or create a skit, whatever you want. just introduce yourself to us. Who are you? Where are you from? Where did you grow up and go to school? What do you like doing? Got any interesting hobbies? Crazy stories? What's your major? What do you want to do with your degree? What has been your experience with English classes in the past? What do you understand about the American dream? Anything you want. So like I did, it was very brief, but you guys can add on to that. And then once you film your video, whether with your cell phone, webcam software, however you manage to do it, create your YouTube account if you don't already have it, and then upload your video to YouTube. And I got instructions on how to do that if you don't know how. I know we're not all technologically advanced. I've been doing this for a couple years now, so, well, no, for a year. So I've learned some of the ins and outs and how to do things better. So your important notes, again, video should be 5 minutes in length. Give yourself time to play with it, have patience, and do not use your Gmail account for the YouTube account. It won't work. Once you got your video filmed, you can take the link. So you go as if you're going to watch that video, and then you take the hyperlink address up at the top, copy and paste it into the comment section where it says leave a reply. Okay? And again, if you're needing to post, it's likely going to ask you to well, you can put in your email, name, whatever, or you can just log in with your Google Plus and it will put your name so I know who everyone is. But do make sure that your name appears somewhere so I can give you credit for it. So the video response is pretty fun, pretty easy. Feel free to get creative with that. Your journal response is tied to the viewing of Leave It to Beaver. So first thing you're going to do with that, again, is go watch Leave It to Beaver. And then I want you to think about questions like, what comes to mind when you hear the American dream? Having lots of money, a happy family, stable job. Is the American dream the same now as it was in the past? So this journal post is asking you to think about these questions in regard to the Leave It to Beaver episode you'll be watching. And the link is on that journal page as well. And then I want you to compose the equivalent of 2 to 3 double-spaced pages. Again, type it somewhere else first so you can have a backup. And this is going to be in response to one of 2 prompts I've given you on the journal page. So the first one is individual definitions of the American dream. First, I want you to discuss what the American dream means to you. And then I want you to consider the episode and how you saw the American dream being defined in the show. Leave It to Beaver was aired in the late 1950s to 60s, I believe. So it was at the time when the American dream was really starting to take off as a cultural ideal, with this idea of everyone had a family with kids and a dog and a white picket fence house and all that kind of stuff. So how did the show define this, other than what I've just told you? Give me really specific examples from the episode. You can talk about, you know, the relationship of the family members, that kind of stuff, or gender roles and things like that. So there'll be some carryover with the other episodes, the other prompt as well. How does your own definition of the American dream compare to that portrayed in Leave It to Beaver? Why do you think your American dream is similar or different? And then second prompt, the roles we play, is asking you to look at the roles that family members were expected to play in Leave It to Beaver. What were the roles or responsibilities of the wife, mother, husband, father, children, brother? You can provide specific examples of these roles and how they were demonstrated in the episode. Can also consider things like the costuming of the actors, how they were positioned in relation to each other, which is called blocking in film speak if you didn't know, and or how members of the Cleaver family interact with other characters. Then think about the way that these roles were presented. How these roles were presented might comment on values and ideals in 1950 to 60s America. Okay, so compose your journal response on Word or Google Docs, save a backup, then copy and paste it into the comment box. Okay, so that is our main stuff for this week. I really want you guys to enjoy this class. enjoy this setup and try it out this first week. Let me know how it goes. And again, if you're having any problems, please email me as soon as possible. The earlier, the better. So I hope to hear from many of you. And if you have any questions or comments, you can post them below this video, or you can email me directly. So I look forward to seeing what you all do with this class, starting with this very first week of the semester. Have a great first week back, or first week starting, and I will see you on our WordPress site. Have a great week, everyone.